Hello, everyone, and welcome to our discussion on the transformative impact of IoT in logistic and supply chain management. I am Kumar Anand, the Principal Industry Analyst for Supply Chain Management Systems, and also your host for today. I'm also joined by three and other esteemed members with expertise in their respective domains. It's my pleasure to introduce to you firstly Narayan Gokhale, who is the Vice President and Principal Analyst who oversees supply chain procurement and IoT domain. He has over 30 years of experience in customer research, custom research, advisory services, business consulting, strategic marketing, and growth consultancy. Narayan is a seasoned professional with practical experience and deep industry knowledge on IoT systems. He brings a wealth of knowledge gained from working in various countries with different companies across diverse cultures and within the range of industry segments and business functions. Now, let me introduce Sujan Thomas Matthew, who is Associate Director and Principal Analyst with a rich background of strategy research analyst and trained as a techno manager. Sujan collaborates closely with leading software and IT services vendors in the procurement space, and his work focuses on understanding and advising on technology capabilities, partnership, and go to market strategies. Sujan also contributes to our best practice team, assisting technology leaders to, to leverage industry trends and disruptions. His expertise revolves around enabling enterprises to pivot potential threats into significant business opportunities and utilizing market proven frameworks and tools to foster growth and innovation. Lastly, we have Ignatius Daniel, a keen analyst in our team. Ignatius brings a sharp analytical mind to the table, specializing in dissecting complex IoT applications, and his insights help demystify how IoT technology can be effectively implemented to revolutionize in specific industries. Like together, they bring a wealth of knowledge and strategic foresights that promises to make this webinar both enlightening and objective for all attendees. So, starting with the integration of IoT, which is not just reshaping how we track and manage goods, but also how we foresee challenges and innovate solutions in real time. Today, we will help you and we will dive deep into these changes and will help you understand the broad impact from a supply chain perspective. So, if I tell you about the role of IoT in enhancing supply chain resilience, so as we've seen in recent time, resilience is key to supply chain management. IoT devices offer real-time data that helps companies predict and react swiftly to supply chain disruptions. So imagine sensors that provides instant updates on weather condition, affecting shipping routes, or real-time tracking of goods that help mitigate risk of theft and misrouting. So the potential to enhance operational efficiency is enormous and reducing downtimes, improving customer satisfaction. So let's discuss how companies are currently leveraging IoT to fortify their supply chains against unexpected disruptions. So to kick off this webinar, Narayan sir, uh, would you or could you elaborate on the specific leadership challenges from technology and business perspective you foresee in implementing IoT effectively in our logistic and supply chain sectors? Because as your expertise would be invaluable in helping us to identify key areas for discussion and developments. Over
Thanks,
to you,
Kumar.
sir.
Thanks, firstly, having me on this webinar on transformative impact of IoT on in logistics and supply chain management. So, uh, your question basically there are two parts to your question. So, let me answer them in for both of them. The first part is for a leadership. When they are taking this route, what could be the possible technology challenges, and then what could be the business challenges. So let me answer this in two parts. So yes, as just like any other technology, IoT technology is also evolving very fast. So if you see this technology started like as the name suggests, Internet of Things. So it started with connectivity, like connectivity of things or devices. So connectivity management was one particular capability, it started with. Then what is connected is things or devices or equipment. So those devices have to be managed. So device management is another capability of any standard, IoT platform. Then all these particular connected devices have to interconnect, and they have to also interoperate with other systems. It could be other systems in SCM domain, such as an S2P system, or a transportation management system, or a warehousing management system, or any other system. So interconnectivity and interoperability, again, a basic characteristic. And then a dashboard or an application enablement is also required. So typically, IoT platforms started with these basic capabilities, and over a period of time, then they were evolved. Now, as you would guess, that when there were such basic capabilities, they were on-prem platforms. Then later on, they migrated to cloud, and of course, the hybrid piece coming along the way. Then once you move to cloud, then of course you could have a very rich data management layer or data management platforms interconnected or added to this integrated platform. Now, this particular data management then of course was able to bring in a lot of data analytics, AI, and digital twin capabilities into this particular platform. And then it could interconnect with a lot of other data management platforms, be it energy management, be it sustainability, and a lot of other things, or typical data warehouses also could be linked to this particular IoT platform. Then when we have so much of interconnectivity between things and platforms and systems, the most important piece was in terms of cybersecurity and data privacy. So that is very, very important. So as you can see, the entire attack surface increased, the vulnerability increased for the IoT platforms. And therefore, this piece became very, very important. And then, as you have guessed, that once it moved to the cloud, and then the IoT systems are now gradually coming back onto the edge. So there is an entire cloud to edge continuum. So today, if you take a retail store, it can be an edge node, or one particular counter in a large retail store could be an edge node. A transportation equipment also could be an edge node. And so this edge computing ecosystem is also getting integrated into the IoT system. So as you have seen that the technology challenges are increasing day by day for the leadership in the supply chain management and logistics, as to what kind of IoT platform should we really be choosing. So these are some of the technology challenges that the leadership should be, or rather is required to navigate when it is terms of choosing IoT platform. Now let's come to the business side of this. So having said this, that whether should we go in for an open source platform, or should we go in for a proper licensed platform, professionally licensed platform, or should we first do a pilot programs but not get stuck into the pilot purgatory? Then whether should we build our own platform, should we buy it, or should we buy and customize it? Then will it be scalable? Will I be able to scale as I grow? And then a lot of strategic implementation decisions as to then what is the ROI? What are the typical KPIs I'm looking for? Am I looking for the supply chain transparency? I'm looking for operational excellence, or am I looking for reduced cost? So these are some of the business challenges that the leadership will have to decide based on the typical technological challenges I mentioned, when we are navigating this particular challenge. I hope it answers your question, Kumar.
Yes, Anuj. I think it's a great insights that how you mentioned about the business and the technology challenges and all. So thank you, sir. Now I want to get a comprehensive perspective of procurement also. So Sujan, how does IoT enable more strategic decision making in the procurement process?
Okay. So first of all, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Kumar, for hosting this call and bringing me to the webinar series. And so before we go into the question, I want to just give a perspective as to why IoT has very deep impact in supply chains and business operational excellence. So the first point is that an IoT offering, uh, those solutions are try to digitize manual processes from a very ground level of a business. So because of this, what happens is from a there could be a lot of planning involved. Planning kind of software and solutions are very, though it's very complex, the logic of it could be easily understood, but these plans often uh, are not easily executable. So what happens is when an IoT like software or a solution is connected to these softwares, it automatically provides insight on how execution, uh, you know, on the ground, how these plans could be directly executed. So it opens up a capacity of visibility from the factory and practical point of view. So that's what the main role of IoT is in supply chains and business operational excellence. So with respect to the question, from a strategic point of view, uh, a source to pay is already quite strategic in itself due to category management strategies, business intelligence and supplier intelligence is brought to the table. And but with the integration of IoT, there is a lot of enhancement to these insights and intelligence. So that is my first major umbrella to this question, and that is the innovations in procurement through IoT. So, modern source to pay captures business intelligence and market intelligence, like I told before, and it goes to a very granular level through implementing category insights, supplier insights, and business insights. What IoT does is it enhances operational insights by adding inventory perspective, factory visibility, and enables adjacent system integrations to capture these IoT insights and help. Hence, inadvertently, what happens is there's a connection between adjacent systems. So one could ask, what does this actually mean? Like, what am I? What is the main, perspective here? So the main thing is that a modern procurement practice, most of the procurement processes are either automated or, AI augmentation, related recommendations and insights are there. But the real problem still remains: are these recommendations and are these insights really executable from my from the point of view of my business?
So sorry, there is a lag in between. Uh, so am I audible, Sujan? So let me go with the Sujan's point and like the impact of IoT on supplier relationship and efficiency. Like IoT enables real-time tracking of inventory levels, right, and drastically reducing overstock and stockouts. So additionally, it enhances the relationship with suppliers uh, through transparent data-driven communication. For example, IoT devices can automatically reorder material when stocks are low, and ensuring that the production is never halted due to supply issues. So some other use cases we have that we want to share with you, like goods transportation visibility, reducing logistics related calls to the suppliers, The second one is the immediate logistics execution from supplier end after inventory restocking. Supply chain bottlenecks visibility that open up avenue for the vendor collaboration. The fourth one is the ease of maintaining goods compliance and material traceability. Uh, and the transportation rerouting and due to digitally predicted supply chain and etc. So these are all the impact of IoT on supplier relationship and efficiency and the innovation in procurement through IoT, as Sujan has stated earlier. So I'm a little bit curious now, and I want to know about Ignatius, your perspective on what are the some emerging IoT technologies that could transform logistic operations in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Kumar. I'm Ignatius Daniel. So I'll be talking more about the future trends of IoT in the logistics space. And yeah, and as stated already, Narayan and Sujan and Kumar are already have laid the foundation of how IoT is in the digital logistics landscape. I would like to add a few more pointers before I get into the actual topic. So we know that the IoT landscape has been evolved drastically in the last 2 years, where in terms of whether it is IoT application or devices or analytics or advanced analytics in the market space. And it has become a prominent technology in terms of very asset-centric organization. When I mean asset-centric organizations, the organizations that are driven by the performance of the assets in the marketplace. And so logistics is part of that, and logistics has been a key part of that as well. So in terms of that, to start off with, the trend is that advanced real-time tracking is one of the prominent trends, where it gives you more insights on how to track your assets. So modern logistics, requires a lot of data to be managed, as well as use of more advanced IoT sensors to track your assets in real time, as well as you can use the advent of 5G technology and edge computing, where they could leverage advanced 5G networks or private 5G networks are already in the working market space. So this offers an holistic, unprecedented asset visibility, so that enables you to track your logistics in real time. So the various parameters that can be tracked are quite huge. You could track your assets, temperature, humidity, the transportation route. This could be a very critical foundation when you're transporting a cold chain logistics. For example, we can see DHL using in terms of cold chain logistics for transportation of vaccines. They use leverage of a lot of IoT sensors to keep the entire package intact. So this also gives a real-time health of your package that you're transporting, which is a very vital in terms of package for pharmaceutical industries. And here you can see Merck use transporting cargoes across globes, and where the health of the cargoes is a primary asset, and which can also minimize losses, as well as improve the cargo handling efficiency, which in turn leads to a more operational efficiency standpoint of view. So we are talking about advanced real-time tracking. So moving from advanced real-time tracking, these items have to eventually move to a warehouse. There comes more smart or automated warehouse management systems, where you could track the assets as well as store the assets in real time, and where you can see sensors or AIs to stock automatically assets, and use guided robotics to retrieve and hold stocks in your inventory management systems. So this could gives us the advantage that advanced inventory planning can be also part of a smart warehouse system using IoT. You could see that companies like Walmart or Amazon have been trying to do this in the last couple of years, where they bring in a lot of robots which are guided by IoT sensors that could track stocks inbound and outbound logistics as well. So this is a part of advanced automated warehouse systems. Apart from that, you could also use IoT sensors to talk about vision computing to analyze, to give you a digital framework how the exact warehouse would look like, and also analyze, monitor of goods and condition inside the warehouse. And you can also use spatial computing in terms of AR, which also gives the workforce over there to have a more holistic smart warehouse approach. It's not about separating robots and humans in the warehouse. It's about bringing together robots and humans to have a more efficient or smart warehouse system using IoT sensors. And moving towards the next thing is the advanced warehouse solutions. The next logical step could be, transportation in terms of having advanced fleet management systems using IoT sensors, where management of fleet is not about just monitoring the systems. It's about more giving more insights about how to handle your fleet. There could be thousands of fleets deployed currently in the global landscape, and how efficiently you are going to track them and how efficiently you're going to manage them is part of a big deal for the organizations or the vendors who are currently in this market space as well. And you could see FedEx doing that with having a delivery network across the globe and using smaller downtimes and extended vehicle lifespan using IoTs. So this becomes a game changer, and it offers a wide variety of cost reduction for the companies that are actually using that. So moreover, this data rich approach facilitates a more sustainable logistics operation by minimizing unnecessary mileages or reduce emissions and leading to a more sustainable logistics operations. And talking about the final trend would be the use of IoT enabled predictive analytics. We all heard about predictive analytics, how it's very crucial in terms of manufacturing industries. But when it comes to a more logistics part of the organization, it's not about just predicting when the failure occurs, but also giving a logical suggestion for actionable strategies with the data that it gathered. So it also combines of ALs, and a lot of analytical models are being used, not just to detect the failures, but also give the end user how these failures can be mitigated, or what are the next steps that can be advanced to these things. So this forms the most holistic approach in terms of using IoT in this landscape. On a concluding note, I would like to say that it forms a more holistic digital thread of connecting the entire organizations, the assets, and the people together to form a overall asset visibility and traceability in this landscape. So that's where IoT is a key role, and how this is going to shape the future as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Ignatius. And I think that's a great insight from you as well, as you have given the predictive capacity that extends machinery to different market demands and adjusting supply levels before. So I think I'm loving this discussion, but I think, well, on the account of time, we will pause the discussion here and move to the Q&A session. We have collated a list of questions from the chat and the questions sent over during registration, etc. And also, because we have limited time, we will address some of the questions on the call. And however, we shall send the answers to the rest of the question via email. So moving on to the first question, that is, how do you differentiate a normal S2P platform from a IoT-based procurement solution? Sujan, will you please answer this question?
Yeah, Kumar, yeah, I'll take this. So a basic, a modern source-to-pay platform manages a lot of complex processes. So this is more with respect to, as the name implies, the source-to-pay process or the source-to-pay function within a procurement, team. So that constitutes of e-sourcing, followed by contract management. Then there are, the back end, there is supplier management, relationship management, risk management, followed by the operational purchasing part of procurement. That is procure to pay, which starts at e-procurement and consists of invoice management, and lastly followed by accounts payable automation. So this process, as I told you right now, consists of basically the purchasing function of a business. So procurement vendors, that is software vendors, offer process automation and AI augmented capabilities to help automate these processes, as well as give recommendations and insights on the supply chains and businesses to help with this process, that is the source to pay process. So they offer a lot of objective and actionable insights that will help in the purchasing process and make sure that the risk is reduced. But with a unified or a connected procurement solution, that is what I believe IoT-based procurement solution means, is that you get visibility on the inventory management and logistics execution with respect to the procurement function. So from the factory point of view, from the ground level point of view, has the order been received, the tracking of the orders, restocking, and such kind of insights you get. Due to this, like I mentioned before, you could automate that process. That is basically the e-procurement process could be automated. And this is what IoT-based procurement solution helps to do. So there are vendors like, source to pay vendors like Coupa, GEP, Tessie Square, and Supply On, which provides these kind of capabilities also uh, uh, within their control tower and supplier network collaboration solutions. Over to you, Kumar.
Thank you, Sujan. That's a great insight as you have talked about the S2P, the whole process of S2P. So my second question, Naren sir, I just wanted to ask you this: how do you see the transformative impact of IoT happening practically in areas like supply chain, procurement, and its role in Industry 4.0?
Okay, thanks, Kumar. And firstly, thank you all the panelists, because I think great insights from Sujan from the procurement side in terms of S2P, and Kumar about from a supply chain perspective. So talking about transportation, warehousing, and then Ignatius for the core IoT technological shifts that are taking place. But having said all this, I think one has to also see the practicality as to how things are happening or are going to happen, in logistics and supply chain. So digital transformation, as you know, is a journey. It's not fix that you do in one day and forget about it. So it's all going through the process of digitalization, and then digital transformation, and the journey kind of keeps on coming till you reach the maturity level. So if I were to kind of relate it to, for instance, the most common example is in manufacturing, where logistics and supply chain is related. And so if you talk earlier, manufacturing and then associated with inbound logistics and outbound logistics, that's all it was, which if you could say in earlier language, like kind of becoming an industry 3.0. Now you attach the entire supplier value chain to the inbound logistics piece there, and then the entire customer value chain onto the outbound logistics piece, and that entire system becomes autonomous. And that's what everyone is aiming today, to be an industry 4.0 solution. And in terms of understanding the role that IoT would play when you're having this entire value chain becoming autonomous. So that's the importance that IoT has in kind of making this entire ecosystem into industry 4.0. So that's one aspect as to the practicality as to how things are shaping up. So the entire value chain would strive and become autonomous in order to achieve the 4.0 objectives. Okay, another thing, a lot of emphasis today we spoke was on the connected, things, connected devices, connected assets. So traditionally, IoT was talked about or perceived mainly from this perspective, and we all talked about asset management, the predictive analytics, the role of AI. Now we have very precious assets in a warehouse. For example, autonomous mobile robots, the entire packaging lines, and that is getting automated day by day. And a lot of such valuable assets, which were earlier manual are now becoming very important. And add to that things like drones, which are now used for delivery. So it's becoming a very, very asset centric, even in logistics and supply chain market. So then add to that the digital twins today, in order to simulate the conditions so that you will have quicker turnaround time in this particular scenario. So this piece is there, it's kind of getting enhanced. Technically, there are technological advancements. But what is also simultaneously happening is we have, just now we talked about connected assets, we are having connected process, and we are having connected people. So this entire ecosystem cannot really become autonomous till we have these connected processes, connected products, and connected assets all working in harmony. And as just Ignatius mentioned, there is an underlying digital threat to this particular digital enterprise, as you may want to say. So let me touch upon some of the things, for example, in digital processes. So the process of packing, the processes of goods return, the processes, all the processes that would take place in warehouses, in transportation, now they are getting digitized. Once it gets digitized, your earlier manual instructions would have to move to digital work instructions. Not only that, whenever there is a problem, you need instant fix. So you need AI. Along with AI, you need augmented reality, virtual reality to help fix those particular problems along with AI. So all these things are happening as far as the process getting digitized is concerned, getting connected is concerned. Because only connecting assets and not knowing what happens when there is a failure is happening. So there is a field service, there is a frontline worker also attached to it. So that brings to the another piece is the worker. Even though the systems are trying to be autonomous, you cannot replace the human element completely. There has to be a human element whose involvement become lesser, but it will become more smarter. So you need to impact training. There has to be a knowledge management, and all those repositories will have to be there in the larger or unified IoT platform that we have been talking about. So this connected worker cannot do, tomorrow's work with yesterday's knowledge. So he has to be empowered. That particular worker who is packing, who's helping packing, or is making the robots more efficient. So we have an entire ecosystem of connected workers or connected people, connected products, and the connected assets that we talked about. And the most important part in this is now, which we didn't talk much earlier, is this entire gamut of energy transition and sustainability. Today, the logistics and supply chain, if you include the transportation part, is the largest contributor to the carbon emissions globally. Because of, if you take air transport, if you take road transport, if you take the entire logistics operations, there's a lot of carbon footprint that gets added to. Now, this entire corporate world now has to kind of declare what is their carbon footprint. So your processes have to become green, how much sustainable they are, and they cannot achieve that till your IoT platform also has this energy transition. What's your green energy kind of thing? What's your sustainability footprint? What is the carbon, carbon management that you are kind of having? So this entire connected ecosystem is going beyond just the things, devices, and assets. Kind of making so that those are the practical implications Kumar just mentioned, and I see the transformative impact of IoT becoming more and more pronounced as we have these elements getting more and more prominence in the corporate world. I hope that answers the question.
Yes, sure. I think you have touched on various points such as warehouse, transportation, logistics, which is of a very complex operations. And you have also mentioned about the digital twins and also the control tower of supply chain. So thank you, panelists, for your invaluable insights on the transformative impacts of IoT in logistic and supply chain management. Today, we have explored everything from basic IoT application for tracking inventory management to advanced data analytics that drive decision making and efficiency in business applications. So we have seen how IoT enhances visibility and resilience using real world example to show its role in problem solving and operational streamlining. So that will reduce cost and improving service delivery. So as IoT technology evolves, the potential for deeper integration is limitless. And we have also touched on challenges like data security, skill gaps, essential consideration for the future of IoT. So at Quadrant Knowledge Solution, our custom research service and strategy advisory are designed to help your organization to stay ahead in the dynamic environment. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope you leave inspired to advance your IoT initiatives armed with insights needed to predict and prepare for future challenges in logistics and the connected supply chain management, as Narayan sir stated earlier. So keep pushing your business boundaries of what's possible with IoT. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on LinkedIn to stay updated on latest market trends. In the meantime, stay curious and keep well. Thank you.